Okay, welcome everybody. We bumped up our meeting for module 3, which actually starts next Monday. So don't stress too much if you're feeling like you're hopping on and you're like, I should be on module 3. You should not. It does not start till Monday. But because of Father's Day and then I'm flying on the day that we should have class, um, I wanted to move this up so that you guys, and actually extra time with this next portion is not a bad thing to encounter. So what you're going to do is, and I tried to lay it out in the announcements so that it wasn't overly stressful. If you have students in front of you, it might be kind of cool to submit to IRB and try that process so that you can understand that full gamut of what it's going to look like in terms of the research cycle. Um, if you do not have students in front of you, you're going to do all the pieces of the submission. So I laid out all of the pieces that you have to do to submit for the assignment. And then for those of you going into IRB, I put in a little video to show you like when you log into IRB, it should look like this, just to kind of get you started and not feel so panicked. I can't really help you once you're in IRB because I can't see what you see. But you do have to add my name as the faculty person. And so that is an important piece because then I can read your research and make sure you kind of attached all the correct things. Most of you, though, will just submit all of the pieces of the requirements of the assignment. There are very few items that you have to create still if you've done your research methodology. So, in your research methodology, you've taken the steps to think about your procedure, you have your hypothesis, you know what you're going to do in terms of data collection sheets. So, you've identified what your data collection sheet should look like. You have already done your media waiver and you have your principal site approval. Okay. If you have all of those things, the only other thing to add to the IRB assignment is the informational letters that need to go out that talks about why you're doing this research. So, in your traditional classroom, you're most likely not informing parents every time you're trying an intervention, right? I mean, we're not doing that. We'd be sending thousands of emails home and probably giving the impression that we're not too sure we know what we're doing when we're teaching because we're trying all of these new things all of the time because parents don't live in our world unless they're educators. But for IRB, they want you to be very clear that you have told the parents what you're doing in terms of research. So if you're not submitting to IRB, everything is hypothetical and it's good practice just to know that if we're going to be doing something formalized, that you're going to be writing a formalized research study on, which some of you in your future career might want to do a research project. Your university might give you credit for a class. I know sometimes we give independent study credits to our teachers for our salary scale if they want to do a homegrown, we call them professional study teams. And so these steps are all a part of that research, which is why it's still important. We still need to inform parents and we still need to let them know what we're doing with their child if it's formalized in that way. So there are samples within your assignment. There's links to a letter. Just use the samples and just be as concrete as possible when you're comparing your work to the work that's required of the assignment. You do not have to submit to IRB if you do not want to, but you still have to turn in all of those components. So you can either combine them all into one PDF or you can turn in separate Word documents into the assignment 3, or not assignment 3, module 3 assignment file so that I can count like, yes, you did your informational letter. Yes, you did your city, like you put your certificate in. Yes, you did this part. Yes, you did that part. If you're working in pairs, that should look very exact. You're both going to submit the same thing. If you're not working with anybody and you're working independently, then it's just you and you don't have to worry about what your pair is submitting. How does that feel? Any questions?
So are we submitting another IRB next class too? Or is
No.
this just okay?
This is just it. That's a great question, though. So for this one, This is the IRB, and then IRB approves or gives you edits, and it really depends on the IRB person reading it, which is why it's really important to just follow the directions of what's in there. Don't overthink it. Um, and then if they approve it, then you can move forward with your study with students, right? If they say no and they haven't approved it by the time that we get to 698, it's about the fourth week in 698, third or fourth week, where you have to actually try to get that research data, then you'll use fake data. Now, it's different because Sandy, you're going to use your own child. So you're in a little bit different of a situation because you, no matter what, can move forward, whether IRB tells you or not, because you're a parent of the kid. And you should note that in your final write-up, just that I'm the parent conducting the research, and the whole purpose of this class is to get practice around interventions and how we implement them and how taking data is important. But every time you do an intervention, you're not going to write a literature review. You're
Do
just,
you want me to do the IRB because I have my daughter, or do I not need to do
it's
that?
up to you.
Okay.
You can decide, Sandy. Like I said, it's a choice, and you'll see in the assignment, it's a choice. No matter what, if you do not have access to students, you do not submit to IRB because they won't let you move forward because you don't have, or you're going to let it just sit in there and it'll be like a pretend study that never gets followed up on. So,
Got it. Yeah, because I don't even have a principal or
yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe I would not submit because they'll question your site permission letter and they won't quite understand your setting.
Okay.
Okay. All right. If you get through module 3 fairly quickly and you're like, I have time, and you know what? I'm going to work a little bit ahead. And we're still meeting July 6th for module 4, but module 4 is also pretty straightforward. You're going to find 10 resources that meet the correct criteria. You can't have any resources over 7 years old. That's the biggest one. And it should be relevant to your study. That's assignment 1 in module 4. And assignment 2 in module 4 is writing a really amazing literature review where you combine all of the resources to come up with themes that you're seeing and how it could impact your research. There's a ton of examples within the resources, and then Purdue OWL site is a great reference tool and also will help you do literature reviews. But YouTube has a ton of videos on literature reviews, so you can also look up stuff on your own. Don't feel married to the resources. Those were just easy resources to give you all. But
Can
we'll
you
still meet on
type
July
it,
6th.
can you
Yeah,
type it like how to spell it on the chat? You said it was
it's Purdue University OWL. And yep,
thank you.
no problem. And then like they have this little owl face that comes up on the website. Okay. Any other questions? This class is not supposed to be, um, it's supposed to help you think about what it means to be a researcher as a teacher, but it's not supposed to make you stressed out. So I'm hopeful that I've tried to like alleviate some of that anxiety that comes with taking a research heavy class and that we're making it a little bit more relevant to what we do in our jobs every day. Okay. I'll stay on for questions, but otherwise, you guys are good to go. And I hope you have a wonderful next few weeks. And of course, I'll be checking email and my phone is on. So if you guys need something, you can always get a hold of me if you have a quick question. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
I do have a
Question.
question.
Oh, yes.
No, you go ahead. Go. Mine's more personal. Elizabeth, go.
Ah, Bashir